February 24th is the 75th anniversary of the Battle of Los Angeles. What was it? It has remained a mystery until now. This entire video is about the secret of the Battle of Los Angeles. Let's take a look at the facts. At least 5 people died during the Battle of Los Angeles. Here's a close-up. Those little circular lights around the object and around the spotlights are shrapnel, are actual explosions of actual artillery shells exploding into each other. I'm not even convinced that the shells even touched the object. I'm not even convinced that happened, although there was a show which proved that those spotlights would have kept going if there was no object there. So perhaps it was solid to a certain extent, perhaps it had a force field to a certain extent, but not a single shell of artillery, and there were many, hit the object. At 3:16 a.m., 3:16 a.m., that's interesting, the 37th Coast Artillery Brigade began firing 50 caliber machine guns and 12.8-pound anti-aircraft shells into the air at the object, at the UFO, which most definitely was and is an unidentified flying object, until this video in which I will identify it. Many will disagree with my opinion concerning the actual secret behind the object. This is pre-Roswell. This is the first major UFO event pre-Roswell. 5 people died at least from heart attacks and from actually being physically hit with the anti-aircraft shells and the 50 caliber machine gun shells, but more likely the gigantic 12.8-pound anti-aircraft shells, pretty much the biggest shells you can possibly shoot at something, fell down from the sky and killed some people because the government shot over 1,400 shells at this object, non-stop, from 3:16 a.m. to 4:14 a.m. We're talking an hour straight of shooting anti-aircraft shells and machine guns at this object, and there's no proof that a single shell hit the object. Not a single shell. How is that possible? I'll tell you how it's possible. People say it might have been orangish. We only have black and white photographs. Perhaps it was more like this. This one's a little bit orangish. I personally believe the secret of the Battle of Los Angeles was that it was an angel of light, a fallen angel of light, either the devil, Lucifer himself, or one of his high-ranking demonic angels that he sent on a mission to beta test, to test out the reaction of human beings. Just fly over Los Angeles, hang out there for an hour, see what happens. You know, you can shoot a machine gun at an angel, whether a good angel or a bad angel, it doesn't matter. You're not going to touch them. They're higher dimensional entities. They are from a higher wavelength. Even the fallen angels are at least in the 5th dimension, but they can come down and appear as angels of light. They can shapeshift into unidentified flying objects. They can shapeshift into anything. One of the devil's master plans, beyond spiritism, if that doesn't work, he invented UFOs. The devil himself invented UFOs. Invented not just showing as an angel of light, but showing himself or his angels showing themselves, fallen angels, demonic entities, showing themselves as craft in the sky. They are very luminous creatures. They can illuminate greatly, and what they can do is fool human beings into thinking they are extraterrestrials. That is a huge game plan of the devil, to trick people into thinking he is an alien, or that his minions are aliens, that his legions are nothing but extraterrestrials, innocent, harmless ET from another planet, and they do contact ambassadors, false ambassadors, complete idiots to be honest, because they buy the false line, hook, line, and sinker that they are ET and they're friendly aliens trying to help the planet, when that's a complete lie. The Battle of Los Angeles was a demonic fallen angel of light shapeshifted into a generic shape. It looks like an oblong shape, but it's really hard to tell with the spotlights, and anti-aircraft shells constantly bombarding the area, but it looks either roundish or oblong, spheroidish, like an egg maybe on its side, but shining with great light. The devil has this ability. He has this power. Lucifer can do this. Why doesn't the devil and his angels appear as beautiful angels of light? He has in the past. And guess what happens to people that see the devil or his fallen angels appear as beautiful angels of light? Guess what happens? They start believing in God, and they go against the devil, and they start believing in God, and their faith in God increases. So the devil doesn't appear as an angel of light too often anymore because it backfired on him. It was a plan that didn't work. So he shapeshifts into various shapes, and one of the most successful shapes the devil and his minions have shapeshifted into to fool mankind, to trick humans, is gray aliens, and more specifically, even the more successful shape than gray aliens is actual flying craft in the sky. The prince of the power of the air, I'm sure you've heard, the devil does have the ability to fly. He has the ability to be luminous. He has the ability to shapeshift into a vehicle-looking craft in the sky. UFOs are demonic entities. They're not actually craft. They are people in a higher dimension with a goal to destroy humans. Being higher dimensional entities, they have the ability to reveal themselves. They have the ability to shapeshift. They have the ability to be luminous. Luminous, paranormal UFOs, not the secret military government craft kind, and not any actual extraterrestrial kind. I do believe extraterrestrials on other planets do exist, but I've personally seen zero evidence of them landing. Roswell is a complete black hole of information. The Battle of Los Angeles is actually more transparent. Yet the government did use the excuse a weather balloon for the first time during the Battle of Los Angeles. My take on this subject is the devil, his fallen angels, can appear as flying saucers, as luminous, extraterrestrial appearing craft in the sky when they're not extraterrestrials. They are interdimensional entities that can shapeshift into anything. So that's my take on this. I'm going to continue to investigate Roger Morneau, spiritism. Independent entities did cause those crazy spiritism seance sessions to manifest actual contact with entities. These same entities, they use many different strategies to fool humans, including shapeshifting into luminous objects in the sky, appearing as craft. UFOs, actual paranormal UFOs, are demons. If there is in the future a great deception of a huge luminous craft flying over every major city, beware. It could very easily be fallen angel, luminous angels of light, shapeshifting into those craft. I understand this sounds like complete fiction and fantasy to people who do not believe in demons. I personally have had first-hand contact with demonic entities. Now, the demons that appeared to me in 2010 and 2011 appeared in the context that they knocked down objects in my room. Almost every single small object in my room was literally knocked over, kicked, punched, and they sat on every object in my room. I could hear a creak of a creature sitting on everything. I even saw pillows go down, come up, and go down and go up within a space of 1 minute. I heard bangs and knocks all night long, here and there, within the space of 6 months in 2011. The creature in between that period of time jumped on me and with 3 hands grabbed my neck, grabbed my mouth, grabbed my tongue, so I couldn't speak. But I commanded it to leave. I did pray to God, and it did leave, and it got kicked out of there. But it always came back 1 hour later. That's one of the reasons I agree with Roger Morneau in his assessment of how poltergeist demons work. After Roger Morneau commanded the spirit to leave his room, it came back 1 hour later. And then it came back 1 hour later after he casted it out again. And then it came back 1 hour later after that. And then I believe he said he was able to get some rest. That exact same scenario happened to me once. I commanded the demon to leave my room at least 3-4 times. I think the record was me casting the demon out of my room 4 times in one night. And it only pissed it off more. It would leave for an hour, come back, and be that much more pissed off. So I do agree with Roger's assessment that if you pray for protection, that can be more powerful than commanding it to leave in God's name, or in the deity you believe's name. I did use Jesus' name, and I have very interesting stories on what happened when I used Jesus' name. It always left, but it left violently. We're talking... That's another reason why I agree with Roger Morneau's assessment. I am not an Adventist. I personally believe the Sabbath is on Sunday, and it changed on Sunday after Jesus died, according to Christians, and I agree with that. But I also say that if you worship on Saturday, like the Jews or the Adventists, if you worship on Sunday, like the Christians, I say God is such a merciful being that he's not going to punish you if you worship on the wrong day. So that's one of the reasons why I disagree with the Adventists. But pushing that dogma aside, pushing those theological differences aside, I do have a Buddhist grandfather who I was named after, and I agree with a lot of the Buddhist principles and concepts. In Eastern mysticism, they do believe demons are everywhere, and they're here to trick you, and they are independent from your consciousness. They are independent from your subconscious. They are independent from you as a person. They are independent, intelligent entities all around us, invisible. They show themselves to a select few people. But the Battle of Los Angeles, I think, was a test. I think it was a beta test, if not an alpha test. Perhaps the devil tried this trick 1,000 years ago and people forget because we don't have a record of it. Even something that happened only 75 years ago, almost every record has disappeared except for this photo. I think there's a great chance the devil did appear, or one of his high-ranking fallen angels did appear, and this is proof of it. I think sporadically the devil does use the luminous ability to shapeshift into a UFO-type craft to fool many. Why? Because if you believe in extraterrestrials, you almost worship extraterrestrials. If you didn't notice, atheists love UFOs. Why? Because it makes them think of aliens on other planets as opposed to God. Atheists would be very opposed to it being an angel, because if angels existed, God exists. Well, the thing is, God does exist, the devil does exist, angels do exist, demonic spirits do exist, human ghosts do exist. I think they are broken apart on different dimensions and higher dimensions above us, and we can't comprehend it because we are so low on the lowest dimension. I'm going to continue to investigate this. I thank you for watching. This has been John Razimus with Occult Unmasked. Be seeing you.